If you found a ready-made floor plan that fits all your needs and is exactly what you want, you don't really need this chapter. But most people will want to do some tweaks or at least want to understand why the space is allocated the way it is. You can create a home as unique as you are, but there are some standards and space considerations to think about. Throughout this presentation, I am using a lot of dimension drawings and illustrations. Some of these I created myself, and some I found on a site called dimensions.com. They are a great resource for illustrations and dimension drawings of standard layouts and architectural details. You can look up layouts and dimensions for so many things on this site. So if you are a construction drawing nerd like me, you will love it. Let's start in the kitchen. Yes, we've all been dreaming of how beautiful it's going to be, but first and foremost, the kitchen needs to function. So let's talk about the work triangle. The work triangle is the most important functional aspect of the kitchen. I am talking about the distance and relationship between the refrigerator, the stove, and the sink. Think about how you use your space and how you move between these areas. The wrong traffic flow can ruin a space. When planning a kitchen, I like to think about how I enter the space carrying a bag of groceries. How far do I have to walk? Where do I put them? How close is that to the fridge and the pantry? Think about making dinner. Where am I prepping? Where are my utensils? How close am I to the stove, the pantry, the sink, the garbage? If you are putting on serious steps while cooking, that is not an efficient work triangle. The way you move through the kitchen should feel natural, intuitive, and it is different for every person. Are you left-handed or right? Are you short or tall? Are there other people in the kitchen? Are they cooking or are they doing something else? I like to stand in various areas and imagine myself doing regular tasks. If I'm at the stove, I close my eyes and I think and feel, where would I like to go from here? Where does the counter feel like it should be? Is it on my right? Is it behind me? Is it to the left? If I'm at the sink, where do I feel like the dishwasher should be? Not just out of habit, but what feels right. In general, kitchen cabinets are 24 inches deep, and the open walking space should be about 36 inches wide. You can go down to 30 inches wide, and in high traffic areas, I would go up to 42 or 48 inches wide. If two people are working back to back, or it's a main traffic area, I would widen it up to 5 feet. So measure it out and walk around in that space and see what you think. Islands are usually built out of cabinets, so you can start with a 24-inch deep cabinet and then you add a 10 or 12-inch overhang. If you want a deeper island, you can add cabinets back to back, which would add another 24 inches. And then you're looking at about 4 feet wide without the overhang or 5 feet with an overhang. Sometimes a pony wall or a half-height wall is built to enlarge the island as well and help support that countertop. If you are going to have an island or dining table in the space, plan for 2 feet wide for each person. So a 10-foot island will seat 5 average-sized people. You want 24 to 30 inches behind them to pull out a stool or chair when sitting in the space. And then another 30 to 36 inches behind that if you want to be able to walk behind people without bumping them. You don't need all this space, but it's a place to start. It also depends if you plan on using the spaces at the same time. You don't need as much clearance if you are sitting at the island or the dining table, but if you are going to have a large gathering and have people sitting at both, then you're going to want that space. Kitchen storage doesn't have to be all cabinetry. In a lot of those beautiful kitchen images where you don't see any junk and they hardly have any cabinetry, where is all the stuff, right? Well, they might be minimalist, but most likely they have an oversized pantry or just a large room off the kitchen where the work and storage actually happens. Shelves in a big open room are a lot cheaper than a kitchen full of cabinetry, so that is just a little idea. If you're going to have an open concept combining the kitchen, dining, and living areas, make sure you think about how people move throughout the space and how you want to lay out your furniture. When there are no walls, it is very much about the furniture layout. And on that note of the open concept and your furniture plan, if you're going to have furniture sort of floating in the middle of a room, which is very normal, and you want to have lamps on your side tables, you will probably want some electrical outlets in the floor. So the more you know about your furniture layout, the more prepared you can be to make it easier on yourself later. Bathrooms are the next big planning concern. There are a lot of components to fit into a small space, and everything has its own requirements and clearances. Every home needs at least one full bathroom, and most have more than that. So let's talk about the general layouts, the terms, and where you would use them. A full bathroom is a toilet, sink, shower, and bath. and the shower and bath can be one unit or separate. 5 feet by 8 feet is about the smallest it can be to fit all of those elements and is a pretty appropriate size. So if the bathroom was just a little bit bigger one way or the other, you could fit maybe a linen closet, which would be nice, but if you go much bigger, you're just wasting that middle floor space. For a standard bath, that is. A 3/4 bath means a toilet, a sink, and just a shower, no bath. And a half bath is just a toilet and a sink. It could also refer to just a sink and a shower. Sometimes you'll see this in a mudroom or a laundry room if someone comes home from a really smelly job. That way they can just take their clothes off and shower as soon as they get in the house. But usually it's a sink and a toilet located near the living space. It's your public restroom or short-term guest bathroom. Accessible. I mentioned this in the initial floor planning stage, but if you or a member of your household has a disability, if you plan on aging in place, or you just like to be prepared for anything, you would want to adhere to the ADA guidelines, especially for the bathroom. This means doorways are big enough for wheelchairs, there's adequate turning space and proper maneuvering areas, you have grab bars, cabinetry at specific heights, and using appropriate materials. There's a lot of information about ADA, which is the Americans with Disability Act, out there. If you want more specifics, go to www.ada.gov. These are some standard layouts for bathrooms, but you can lay out your space however you would like. If you are going a unique route, there are some general measurements to consider for the separate items in your space. The toilet. Overall, a standard toilet will be between 27 and 30 inches deep, with a back height of 21 to 31 inches and a width of about 20 inches. There are round options and elongated options. Standard seat height is 15 to 17 inches, and comfort height is 17 to 19 inches. Most building codes require at least 15 inches, measured from the center of the toilet from any sidewall or obstruction. So generally, you can give yourself a minimum of a 30-inch wide space for the toilet, 36 inches wide if you're going accessible. And there should be at least 24 inches of clear space in front of your toilet or bidet. There's a lot of helpful information on this drawing. Feel free to save it or find it on dimensions.com. I'm always getting asked, where does the toilet paper go? We've all been in those bathrooms where there is no obvious place for it, or it's in a super weird spot, like it's too close, or it's too high, it's too low, it's too far away. You have to feel this out in the space, but this is a nice general guideline to go by right here. Sink. So most of the time you will select your sink at a cabinet shop. They will know exactly the size of the cabinet and what size of sink will work best. If you're doing something out of the ordinary or for some reason purchasing the sink and cabinet separately, make sure you are comparing the sizes. When you buy a sink, give the specification sheet to the cabinet maker so they know exactly what they are working with until they have the actual sink in their possession. If the cabinet is already made, make sure your sink size fits within those dimensions. There's a lot of numbers down here. I'm not going to run through all of them, and they're not official measurements either. You don't have to do anything at these sizes or heights. It's just a guideline to give you a place to start if you are designing your own bathroom from scratch. One measurement to note and think about: bathroom cabinets can range in height from 30 to 36 inches high. They used to always be 30 inches, but kitchen cabinets are 36 inches high, and most people just keep the same, and people on average are taller these days. I like a higher cabinet. You might get a little bit more storage, but if you were a shorter person, you might like that 30-inch height better. So this is just a personal preference, but it is a choice that you can make. The minimum standard width for a sink cabinet is roughly 24 inches. If you go much smaller, I would look at places like IKEA because no one beats them using small spaces efficiently. I love the storage built into their bathroom cabinets, and they have some really tiny ones. Another solution for small spaces would be a pedestal sink. It's a sink on a single leg, or a pedestal basically, and so has a very small footprint on the floor, but you will not get any storage with this. Or you can do a wall hung sink. There are options with storage and without, and then the floor is entirely clear. So it just depends on the look that you're going for and the space that you have to work with. Showers and baths. This category can range from prefab units to wildly custom spa retreats. So let's start basic and go up from there. The tub shower combo with matching wall surround. Very common for the average bathroom, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with this solution 80% of the time. If you have a smaller budget And or for secondary bathrooms, it's easy to install, it's low cost, and it gets the job done. You can install a combo shower tub unit with or without doors or just a shower. As a general guideline, the average square shower is a minimum of 36 by 36 and then up from there. And a standard rectangular combo unit is typically 30 to 36 inches wide, pretty much always 60 inches long, and then you can range from 60 to 72 inches in height. These are all options that are readily available at Home Depot. You can have a lot of fun with what's already out there, especially if you're on a budget. If you are building a custom shower, it can really be any size and material you want, and we'll get more into the materials in that deep dive. But if you want to save a little money on a custom shower, try to work with the standard shower pan size. The shower pan is a prefab unit that lines the floor and includes the drain, so the floor doesn't need to be custom sloped. It's watertight and, as the name implies, ready to be tiled. The average shower pan sizes are similar to the average square, corner, and rectangle bathtub sizes. The walls can then be tiled, composite panels, glass, or any other waterproof material. If you are designing your own shower, don't forget about the nooks and the shelves for shampoo, soap, all that kind of stuff, whatever you keep in your shower. I hate seeing a beautiful shower with stuff just sitting all over the floor. These are also a great area to add a little accent fun. Whatever you choose, if you are remodeling, make sure you can get the unit into the bathroom, door size versus unit size. All-in-one units are often moved into place before the walls are completely framed. For that reason, there are surrounds that come in pieces and then seam together. In water situations, the less seams the better, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. I have seen a bathtub crane lifted into a second-story window and holes cut into the side of houses to get materials in. If you planned your entire bathroom around that tub, or maybe some fabulous slabs of bookend granite, and then didn't think about how you were going to get it into the space, you are screwed. Do not put yourself in that situation. Freestanding tubs. There are a variety of sizes in this category, but the average length is between 55 and 72 inches, and the width is between 27 and 32 inches. Height can vary from 15 to 20 inches tall. Some have feet and some are set directly on the floor. If you have a freestanding tub, the plumbing is different. You can either have a wall-mounted faucet or, more commonly, a floor-mounted tub filler. These are expensive. They are beautiful, usually with a hand shower, and definitely lend to the fun of a freestanding tub, but you will pay for it. Do not put a freestanding tub in just for the looks. It is way too expensive for that. I'm a bath person, so I don't understand people who put these beautiful baths in and then don't use them, but it happens. If you want the toilet in a separate room within the bathroom, that's called a water closet or a WC. Sometimes that can refer to the toilet itself, but usually it's the toilet room. The minimum size is 36 inches wide by 60 inches long. If you have the space, I would go a little bit bigger, especially if the door swings in. In this case, they're using a pocket door. While we are here, I want to make a note about pocket doors. I love them, they are great, but be aware that you cannot hang anything on that wall. Your nail or screw could potentially go through the drywall and then scratch your door every time you open it. And then you'll have this awesome line across your door forever. Let's move to bedrooms. It seems pretty simple, but there are some rules. By code, a bedroom needs its own door, a secondary egress, a closet, electrical outlets, and the ability to stay above 68 degrees. Start planning a bedroom by the size of bed you would like and any other furniture pieces you need in the space. Do you like a chair or a bench? A dresser? Are the closets built into the space, or is there a walk-in elsewhere? I like a desk in a bedroom, especially if it's a kid's room. It's a place to do homework, to organize things, to show off trophies or collections. It's nice to give the room a little area to be personalized. So the average size bedroom in the United States is 11 by 12 feet and is large enough to accommodate a queen size bed. The average size of a master bedroom measures 14 by 16 feet and fits a king size bed. If you want any furniture in here, again, the dresser, a chair, a bench, the room needs to be bigger. But again, bedrooms can definitely be too big. Bed sizes. To plan a bedroom, you need to know about bed sizes. So there are more obscure sizes. My husband was pointing out an Alaskan king bed to me the other day, but these are pretty much what people are using. You don't have to memorize these measurements, just know that they are standard and reference them when you need. I don't know every measurement off the top of my head, but when I am in space planning or furniture planning mode, I'm constantly Googling average king size bed dimension or average size pickup dimension, and I do this with so many things. Do not be afraid to search online. This information is out there. There are a lot of questions about egress windows, especially in the basement. The building code states, unless the bedroom has a door that connects to the outdoors, at least one of the windows should be 24 inches tall by 20 inches wide. The window opening should equal at least 5.7 square feet. The window can't be installed more than 44 inches above the floor, but not lower than 24 inches to prevent children from climbing into it. The window needs to open at least halfway and be easy to operate without keys, tools, or special knowledge. And there needs to be a ladder or a way to climb out. Always check your local building code and confirm with your contractor because an inspector will not let this go. It's a big deal, and if you're ever in a fire, this might be someone's only way out. Closets. I get a lot of questions about closets. People have a lot of clothes, shoes, accessories, you name it, and we all want to be organized. But that is much easier said than done sometimes. The more you can anticipate your needs and the more you know about yourself, the easier you can make it later. You can start with ready-to-go systems that fit in standard size closets, so find a system you like and then just design your closet around it. You could use a customizable closet system, or you could go entirely custom. Let's start with the reach-in closet, the normal closet that you would see in a standard bedroom or hall. Sometimes they have sliding doors, bifolding doors, or regular hinge doors. There is usually a rod and a shelf above. It can be 24 to 30 inches deep, and anywhere from 3 to 8 feet wide is standard, but obviously closets you can make any size you want. If you want to take the standard closet up a notch, you can buy closet units that fit into these sizes, whether you're building new or remodeling. Give yourself more shelves, different heights, rods, anything you want. You can find these at Home Depot, Lowe's, the Container Store. There's a lot of them. A walk-in closet can really be any size. If it's for a single user with a single row of clothes, you can get by with 5 feet deep and whatever length that you would like. If you want more racks, you can go bigger. So what you need to know is 24 inches deep where the clothes rods are and 36 inches wide for walking and the turnaround space. If you want to go all in with your closet, I would go to specific closet sites. California Closets, the Container Store. They all have programs where you can lay out your own closet, or they have designers on staff that will do it for you. There are a lot of details and options available, so let the professionals do it for you. They will plan the space with your guidance and then provide an estimate, and then you can adjust from there, but it is a great place to start. Often you are only purchasing the kit and you still have to install it yourself or have your contractor do it. This is not something they always plan on doing, so confirm if that is in your bid or not. Some closet companies do the install as well, especially if it's a local company. There are a surprisingly large number of organization shops around, and they can usually take care of all your closets, your pantry, and your garage storage. Fireplaces. A lot of people want fireplaces. Yeah, they're awesome. So whether you're going traditional or contemporary, there is an option for you. The first and main question is gas or electric, or wood burning, but mostly it's gas or electric. Electric is the easier option. You don't need a gas line. It literally plugs into an outlet and gets mounted on the wall, or you can make it look like a built-in. Most units only require a 4 to 12 inch depth, so super easy to make room for that. It's typically less expensive, but you also get what you pay for. The flame is not quite as real. Some units put out heat and some don't. If you just kind of want a fireplace, this is the route to go. If you are all in and want to go as authentic as possible, short of a wood-burning fireplace, gas is the way to go. There are more options when it comes to the logs, the surround, the heat output, and the flame size. These units are much deeper, planned for 16 to 24 inches, and need to be vented outside. You will need a professional to install this. You will also need a gas line installed. Although most contractors will say they can install a fireplace, if you have someone who specifically installs them, go that route. If you buy your unit from a fireplace showroom, they typically have installers. Use them. They have special tips and tricks that you will reap the benefits from later, typically. Wood burning fireplaces. You can absolutely still install a real wood burning fireplace, although they are much less common these days. They are very similar to the size requirements of gas models, and if you had a wood burning fireplace and want to turn it into gas, that is a very easy change for that very reason. Wood storage. So you need ample wood handy if you're going to actually enjoy that wood burning fireplace. So where are you going to keep it? You can have built-in storage near the fireplace, or are you near a door with outside storage space? Think about tromping armfuls of wood through your house to that fireplace on a cold, snowy winter day. The next and equally important question is what's happening around it. You can purchase ready-to-go surrounds from fireplace showrooms if you want to keep it simple, but I think most people can do better than that. There are certain code requirements as far as materials used and how close they can be placed to the heat of the fireplace. The National Fire Code dictates that any combustible material, like a wood mantle or trim, must be at least 6 inches away from the firebox opening. An additional inch of clearance is needed for every 1/8 inch the combustible material or trim protrudes. So if you were installing a mantle that sticks out 8 inches, it needs to be 18 3/4 inches above the fireplace opening. Confirm this with your local builder and installer, but know that it's pretty high. Typical non-combustible materials used are tile, natural stone, brick, concrete. You can really have a lot of fun here. Mixed materials, mosaic tiles, subway tiles, faux stone, real stone. Sky's the limit. The hearth. If you are going the traditional looking route, you might want a hearth. This is the flooring in front of the fireplace. Sometimes it's lifted up like a seat. Sometimes it's inset into the floor. It's a nice way to protect your flooring from the heat, although most gas and electric units account for this already. So you don't need one for safety, it's just for the look at that point. If you have a wood-burning fireplace, you definitely need a hearth to protect the floor from the excess heat and any sparks or embers that fly out. You should also be using a fireplace screen for that very purpose. So that brings us to the TV over the fireplace. As we mentioned in that slide before, mantle height can get really high. I don't love the TV over a fireplace. Heat is a factor, and if you refer back to those mantle height requirements, it's going to get really high. Think about how you like to watch TV. If you like to lay in bed or on the couch, mounting close to the ceiling is ideal. But if you are sitting on the couch, you want it at eye level. And eye level is typically 42 inches from the ground, and that measurement is to the center of your TV. So if you're mounting it over the fireplace, it's going to be at least 60 to 68 inches on center. Just think about how you like to watch TV. Next is lighting. There are a lot of things to know about lighting. People focus their entire job and or design career in lighting, so know that this is the very tip of the iceberg when it comes to all that you could know about lighting. First and foremost, lighting is about just generally lighting a space. The amount of light you need to generally see and do basic things when it's dark outside. Let's think about the overall lighting situations you want throughout the house and then plan accordingly. Where will you want task lighting? Do you have any art or architectural elements that you want to light or accent? Do you want them to be dimmable? Do you need night lights? Do you want inside cabinet lighting, under cabinet lighting? Do you watch a lot of TV? Do you read at night? Do you want smart lights, occupancy sensors, motion sensors? Explain to your electrician how you want to use the space and the amount of effort that you want to put in. There are a lot of behind the scenes work to make lighting your home seem effortless. So make sure you have an electrician who values the same things you do when it comes to lighting your home. Because lighting is complicated and a world of its own, let's get some of the lighting terms and technicalities explained first. Kelvin refers to the color temperature of the light source. For example, a 4000 K bulb would give you a very blue, cool hue, whereas a 2000 K bulb will give off a much more warm or candlelight feel. You're looking at this when you buy the light bulbs. If you had one burn out and then you replaced it and now it looks different than all the rest of them, that is probably why. There are 4 main types of light bulbs used in residential lighting: incandescent, CFL or compact fluorescent lamp, halogen, and LED, the light emitting diode. Incandescent. These are very common and what most fixtures used to be. They are inexpensive, have a warm tone to their light and can be dimmed, but they do not last long. They're not energy efficient and they can be physically hot to the touch. CFLs are kind of an intermediate technology. They were an advancement from incandescent. They are more energy efficient, come in a wide range of light tones, and have a medium-long lifespan. On the other hand, they kind of need to warm up. It takes a few minutes before they get to their full brightness, and they have to be recycled correctly because they do contain mercury. Halogen are very bright and not really used as often anymore. They have a short lifespan and get really hot. LEDs have made major advancements, and most fixtures and bulbs use these. A lot of fixtures come with LEDs wired seamlessly into the fixture. This is called integral LED and a great solution for those hard-to-reach fixtures. It gives off no heat, can provide directional, bright light, and is the most energy efficient of this list. They can be super small and installed like a roll of tape, so LEDs are used for a lot of things. Now back to lighting in general. There are a few categories we can start with: statement, ambient, and task lighting. Statement lighting. It's a beautiful light fixture that is more about the style or look of the fixture than about the light it puts out. If you know you want specific statement lighting in a certain area, start there. Even if you don't know the fixture yet, but you do know that you want a showstopper over the staircase, that is a place to start. Again, statement lights are not necessarily about providing adequate lighting. You will probably still need general lighting around your statement light. And not every space needs a statement light either, so choose wisely. These can be any type of fixture, but are usually larger pendants, chandeliers, and sconces. Ambient light. When the space is lit, but you're not exactly sure where the light is coming from. It's more about the light levels than the fixture. Most ambient lighting is provided by can lighting in today's construction. You can select different sizes, colors, and trim options, whether it points at a specific direction and if it's dimmable. They are typically placed evenly throughout a space and provide overall light levels. Other types of ambient lighting could be cove lighting, tray ceiling lighting, and other fixtures that provide general light but aren't actually seen. Task lighting is exactly what it sounds like. These are the fixtures that provide light specifically for areas where tasks are completed. This could be under cabinet lighting, desk lights, reading lights. This is a makeup mirror in the bathroom. You need all forms of lighting throughout a space, overlapping each other and adjustable. And this image is a great example of that. We have task lighting at the sink, task lighting for the countertop, ambient lighting provided by cans, and a decorative lighting within the cabinets. Not all residential construction document sets have these drawings, but the bigger the house, the more intense the design elements, the more you will need them. So you have a reflected ceiling plan. Imagine you could rise above your ceiling and look down on it, like you would a floor plan, except it's only the elements in your ceiling. This is where you will see all those ceiling details spelled out: height changes, soffits, tray areas, and where all the light fixtures are located. Switching diagram. This is even less likely to be included in your construction document set, but it should be because it always ends up being a big headache. The switching diagram is where your light switches will be located and how they will control the lights. There are building codes involved and certain ways to do it, but you should definitely be involved in this process because there will be questions and there are different options. It's up to you to know how you want to use the space. Are the majority of the switches by the front door or the garage door? Do you want to turn everything off from one place? Do you want three-way switches, dimming? It can get complicated fast, and you will work through all of this with your electrician. Just know that this is a switching diagram, and you will have to think about this. Now let's talk about actual light fixtures. You'll have ceiling fixtures, meaning the fixture mounts to the ceiling, and then it's classified by how far it hangs. Flush mounted, meaning it's installed tight to the ceiling. This can also be called a surface mount. Semi-flush mounted, or close to ceiling. And then there's pendants, which can be classified as chandeliers, pendants, or mini pendants. Chandeliers have multiple light bulbs, and a pendant only has one. Mini pendants are typically 6 inches in diameter or smaller. Ceiling fans also fall into this category. They usually have their own section, but technically they are a semi-flush fixture. Wall-mounted fixtures are installed on the wall and are typically called sconces. Bathroom vanity lights also fall into this category. Now you have to make the actual lighting selections and make sure that they all fit together. This can be an overwhelming process. If you have a pretty typical style that can fit into a category, say you love craftsman design and you want all your lighting to match, you can definitely make all your selections from one page of a catalog. There is nothing wrong with that, and that's why they create collections. If you are like me and have a hard time fitting into one category, here are some things to keep in mind. Use a variety of types. You don't want to have pendants hanging everywhere or everything is a circle. They should feel like they belong together but have a variety. Gauge the feeling of the room or the vibe that you want to create. I typically try to stay with the same finish throughout, but once in a while, you have to switch things up. Maybe everything is right about the fixture, but it's an off-the-wall finish. Sometimes that is the change that I needed to kind of mix it up. It's your house. You can literally do whatever you want. Play with scale. If you are making a statement, make one. Make sure you are really filling the space. Not edge to edge, but generously filling that space. Everyone wants these large open spaces, but that can create some serious scale issues if you are not paying attention. And be practical. If you plan on playing soccer in your basement, there is no need to install blown glass pendants. Just do not do that to yourself. If you are being true to your style and the space that you are trying to create, the lighting will make sense and fall into place. More practical tips and things to consider when making this decision. So I like fixtures that are open at the bottom so that bugs and dust don't fall in and get trapped for all eternity. No one likes staring at those dead flies in your kitchen pendant. Another thing to consider, how do you replace the light bulbs? Literally, how do you get to that fixture and change the bulb? If it's that showstopper over the stair, it is not easy. You do not want to be changing these bulbs all the time. So, which leads me to the next question. Are they easy to purchase or are they specialty bulbs? How long do they typically last? How much do they cost? You would be surprised at the situation that you can get into with light bulbs. Compare prices. Lighting pricing is all over the map. A true designer fixture is going to cost you, but it will come with all the bells and whistles. A knockoff might look fine, but definitely sacrifices quality and service. It's up to you, and both are fine for different situations. Do I think you need a designer fixture for your laundry room? Definitely not. But if you want to splurge on that showstopper over the dining room, yeah, absolutely go for it. Next is where to shop. Your best bet for all the options and help is to go to a lighting showroom. Your contractor probably has one or two that they like to use. If not, find one that you like, and I'm sure they can set up an account. It's really not that big of a deal. Find a salesperson that you get along with who understands your style and can guide you through this process. It's their job to help you find the right fixtures, organize the order, coordinate with your contractor and electrician, place the actual order, schedule the delivery, and handle any issues that arise. So you might pay a little bit more for their support, but that service is worth it. They are a great resource should you have issues with the light down the road or need replacement bulbs. I shop online for lighting all the time, but use reputable sites that have a decent return policy and warranty. Lighting gets made all over the world every day. It's more, does the company stand behind its product? Confirm with your electrician that the light works for your situation before ordering, because you will be responsible for placing that order, receiving the fixture, and some are huge, and dealing with any damage or issues that could arise. And you might have to store that fixture until it is installed, so remember that if it's a big, huge fixture. I do not typically suggest that you shop online auction sites for used or knockoff lighting unless you know what you are doing and you are prepared to modify the lighting to fit your situation. But if you feel comfortable, that is totally your risk to take. Apologize for the lack of drama in this exit, but you are probably already overwhelmed.